Hey guys, Tours and stuff here. So I'm making a part 2 on the toilet video. I didn't intend on making one, but my phone decided to lock me out and it ended my video when it was in pause. So yeah, here I am. So the next thing you want to do after you make your base is make the sides of the trapway and kind of try to match it up to whatever design you're trying to make. Because it just makes it easier. And then make an identical thing on the opposite side of the toilet. Also, you want to make it a little bit longer than it needs to be, so that way when you pinch this off, it still has room for water to flow through it. This looks a little big, but I might remake it. Really depends. Let's see. Alright, I fixed it. So now it's bigger. You want to leave a little bit of overhang on here, so that way when you close it up, because you have to put these two back pieces together, it doesn't make the trapway extremely small. Now I'm going to make the other side, and you want to make the other side exactly identical to this. Alright, so I got both pieces exactly identical. So the next thing you want to do is make a worm of plasticine, which I'll do, and then I'll show it to you. Alright, I made a worm. Make it about this big, then flatten it out, like so. Make it about, maybe about 2/8 of an inch thick, maybe a little bit under. Make it about the same thickness as that. I don't know. That's about 2/8 of an inch. Or however thick you want it, to be honest. It's your toilet, and if you're making it at a different scale, you just need to make it whatever fits your scale. So anyway, for me, that would be 2/8 of an inch. Just get it a little bit thinner. It's not quite thin enough for me. There we go. Now, for my particular toilets, I like to make them with concealed siphon jets because, quite frankly, in the way that I make these toilets, it's easier to make them concealed than it is to make them normal. Which is kind of surprising, to be honest, because I put the siphon jet in the trapway when I'm making the trap for the toilet. So you won't be able. I'll probably make a video later when I figure out how to make a concealed siphon jet in this way. Not concealed, regular siphon jet. I'll do another video about regular siphon jet toilets, which I haven't done yet. So this is just for concealed siphon jets at the moment. Or front flushers, which don't have any siphon jets. Basically just replace what I'm doing. Let's see, that's a similar thickness to the horn outlet. So I actually put horns on my toilets too because the trapways are so big they don't really siphon without horns. So then you basically have a look at your trap design. And you take this piece of clay and compare it to wherever you need to put it, and then make a mark. Right at the edge of the outlet. So let me just make a mark. Where the hole is in the bottom, make a mark right at the edge of it, the far edge, like closest to the front of the base. There's my mark. And then take your clay and line it up with that mark, like so. And then after that, you take the edge of the clay and kind of smear it and try to mash them together, but don't mash it too much. So let me just do that real fast. Just kind of smear it together like so, like that. Just take your finger, push it until you can't see a line, or a very faint line. It has to be sealed so it doesn't leak when you flush it. Just keep doing that until it gets sticky and stuck to everything. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Then at the top of the trapway, you cut it. Cut it off wherever you want it. If you want it a little bit, I usually make my traps quite deep. The water's quite high. If you need to too, you can also extend the. There we go. There's the first part of the trap. Just have to tear it like so. Just smash it. Sorry about the bad focusing. Smash it and smooth it until it's pretty together. Now this is going to get tricky when you put the other side on because there's a lot of compromise in space. You can't stick your fingers in the trap anymore. So it gets a little bit tricky. So you have to use things like drill bits and crap to do it. And for this particular design, the toilet trap goes further down, so that's what I'm going to do next. There we go. There's the other part of the trap. Now we're going to do the concealed siphon jet, which is going to be situated right here. Basically, just make a V with your clay. Let me just do it real fast, and I'll show you afterwards. It's better to make concealed siphon jet passageways quite large, so that way a lot of water can flow through them. Makes the siphon more effective. And make the jets not extremely large, but fairly large. It's for the same reason. Because if only a little bit of water can flow through the concealed siphon jet, it's not really going to do anything. There's the concealed siphon jet, which should look and work fine. Also, it's much easier to drill the holes to the concealed siphon jet where you start to assemble the trap. And that's where the drill bits come in and make it easier. There's your concealed siphon jet passageway. Now this is the tricky part. When you take this side and mate it with this side, you have to make sure they're almost perfectly lined up. And then you just kind of smash it. Make them even as possible. Then after you do this, you need to take the bottom and smooth it on. And then take the other pieces, which are not going to be perfectly smooth on either. You have to smoothen them on, but it's not going to be easy. What I do in this case, this is where I use my drill bit. My drill bits, I make it much easier to do this process. Let me just get this off the table. There's the big siphon jet passageway in the trap. You need to get your... This side should be easier because there's actually access to the trap on this side. So flip it on the opposite side like this. Just if there's enough room, stick your fingers in there. Kind of smear it down so it adheres with the other pieces. Now with areas you cannot access, like the inside here, you need to take a drill bit and stick it in the mouth of the trap. I'll do a drill bit. Anything flat will work for this. Just something that's rounded, that's gonna get right there. Then on this side, doesn't really matter too much except for the bottom because it's sealed off on the opposite side, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Take your drill bit and kind of do the same thing you're doing with your fingers. Try to smear it until you don't see a line anymore. Take your thing, stick it, it's not a very good camera angle. Stick it in there, smear it. I'm sorry about the fuzzy camera, my lens got smudged. Just smear it until it's smooth and you can't see cracks anymore. And just do that. Well, the siphon jet passes by, and you have to be really careful. But keep doing that until it's sealed. I'll pause it and show you when it's... Okay, for the most part, smooth out. It's better to smooth it out. It doesn't matter if one side's smoothed out and the other is not, it won't leak, so it doesn't really matter that much. Also, you're not going to be, obviously not going to be installing this for regular use, so it won't matter if it leaks a tiny bit. If it leaks a little bit, it'll still work, but just do your best to seal it. And then after this, you want to, what I do is I take this and score, what I call score it, which is where you make a bunch of little lines on the clay with the knife. Take in all directions, do that around this area. It helps to adhere the clay to it easier. You're still gonna have to do the same thing you did before though. Let me clean my lens so you can see it. Alright, all clean. So there's this score marks. I don't know why it's not focusing, but you can just kind of see them. And then you take, it's also better to score the trap too. Just take and make a bunch of little lines at the bottom of it. Take a knife like so. Don't do it too deep, do it just a little bit on the surface. That's good enough. Okay, then take this and line up the hole with the edge of your trap, of the outlet on your trap, the bottom, and then smooth the corners like so. Take your corners and just smooth them into the clay like that. I'll do that and then show you. Right, and basically these will all be open, and you pinch the top, you pinch them together. There you go. It's all sealed up, and you seal it to that, and that's it for the trap. Now, do not test the trap once you get the bowl assembled until you get the rim on it, because when if you use cold water, do not use hot water because it'll melt. It will make it extremely hard to make the rest of the toilet, so don't do that. So I'm gonna show you how to make the base now.